flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. First item of business is approval of the December 18th study session minutes.
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next up, approval of the bills list.
Move to pay the bills.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain.
Next up, public comments. Lots of public tonight. Hearing none, we'll move on. Old business, of which we have none. New business, discussion, consideration of possible action regarding the purchase of the new police vehicle.
We got the insurance worked out. They totaled the old car. I found a car, used highway patrol car. It's the same exact year. Everything's the same. So all the equipment can transfer over to that with no cost. They gave us it was $20,230 something after our deductible for the old car, and bought back the crashed car for $2,000 because we just put an engine in it. And so it would be roughly $3,700 out of the city budget to replace that car. There shouldn't be any other expense to that. So I wanted to see if we could get approval to go ahead and move forward and buy the car for the highway patrol.
It's $35,765.
Is this just a big deal? Because last month, the December's thing that you had, essentially the same charger, when we motioned to approve the 13.5 for the new motor and transmission on the Tahoe, you said a charger was 30 to 35 with 50,000 miles.
That's what they told me on the phone, but when they emailed me or faxed me the list, the newer ones are 31, but that 21, which is the exact same year we have, it's 21,000. So that's why I decided to go back to that one, because everything fits, all the equipment. We don't have to replace any equipment.
So it doesn't come with any of that?
No.
They take it all out?
They take everything. It's stripped.
We put
Just
it
like
all
we
in.
bought these, there's nothing except the spotlight, the only thing you get with it.
Just like a new one would come?
Yeah.
What are your plans for the engine?
Well, I'm looking for a place to store the car, but the way it's a Dodge, so I would like to have a new engine on standby if we need it for one of the other two Chargers. I'm driving the Charger.
It'll
and we have
cross over.
another one, so
Okay.
that engine fits for all of them. But we just bought it, so I hated to give it back to the insurance company with a brand new motor in it.
Makes sense.
How many police vehicles do we have?
We have Tahoe, Explorer, Durango, and two Chargers on the street, and then my Charger.
And we still call the Charger working?
What's that?
It still runs, still operating,
Yeah.
but we haven't done the new motor and transmission in it, right? No, that's what.
Tahoe.
Oh, that's,
Oh, the Tahoe?
yeah.
It will run, but it barely pulls itself.
Yeah, but that's the one you're counting.
Yeah, that's counted in that, yeah.
Okay.
I have a question.
Certainly.
Is there any litigation on that insurance from the person that stole the vehicle or we had that accident with? Is there any money coming back from that accident? Or do we know yet?
Yeah, that's what, wouldn't we have a claim against the insurance company of the person who ran into us?
She had no insurance on the stolen vehicle.
That's illegal.
Yeah,
I know, that's shocking.
on top of that.
That's not right.
Apparently, when you steal a vehicle, you don't insure it before you leave. We got an insurance man here, but I don't think they do that. But so I don't know if there's any recourse to go through the actual owner's insurance, the owner of the vehicle that got stolen. But I hate to do that to the
Insult
guy.
to injury.
Yeah, I kick him while he's down.
Short
No, good
Short
thought
of
process.
litigation against the person that stole his right in the first place.
Yeah, well, we've got criminal charges against her, and you'll never get anything out of her
No.
in court. Can't get blood out of a turnip.
And I did talk to the chief, there's, I can't remember the exact name, it's like Missouri Blue Shield, there's some grant money from the state that you get up to 50,000 to use for equipment. And I know Lexington just got a couple of patrol cars through that. The window closes in September for the next go-round, so.
I heard about the grant, did all the work, only to find out that when I heard about it, it had already expired. So I have to wait till the next one, but they're opening it back up, and they said 3 to 4 weeks, so.
Yeah, I thought it said that the window was until September.
Yeah, September 2nd is when it closes, but they're opening it back up in 3 to 4 weeks, so everything I've already typed, I can submit.
Cool.
And every department I know that's gotten, or put in for it, they got 50,000.
That's what I heard as well.
It's a state grant.
So that would help us with
How's that fund now? Or that would pay?
the general fund is looking fairly decent. 134,000. We just got a infusion of cash of all the year-end payments, so we got payroll and whatnot to cover, but yeah, we should be able to absorb the 3,700. Squeeze too tight. So is there a motion to approve procedure?
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So we're on our way to new car. New to us. All right, next discussion, consideration of possible action regarding changes to the food truck ordinance.
You're up.
Hi,
Hi, Debbie.
I'm Tammy Cronus with Tammy Sue's, and all these people that you wonder who are here, sorry, are business owners or chamber members or community citizens that have been a part of this. So just to give you a little background, the Chamber of Commerce branched off into a small business development group where several of us have met multiple times trying to come up with, we put signs around the rooms, looking at ways to increase and improve the business area in Buckner, because we all believe in it and we want to see it continue to grow. So our premise was nothing but positivity. What could we bring to the group that was positive? And then looking at what we see as concerns or issues and how we're willing to solve those problems. So if you felt there was an issue or a concern, how are you going to be part of the solution? And one of the biggest things that we were looking at is how do we bring more awareness about Buckner? Everybody thinks Buckner's some little small town that's so far away, and it's really not. It's close in a lot of ways. Even our own community doesn't realize we have a bank in town at times, so how do we get awareness out there, not just to surrounding areas, but our own community? And then how do we attract businesses to come here and sustain those, which I know a lot of small communities work on that, so that has been our premise as a small business development group. And our goal is for all of us to work together as partners with you all, as aldermen and part of the city, us as business owners and community citizens. So the one thing that we looked at is that, as you all know, we've done the third Thursdays, and they have grown over the 3 years, but we had decided that we would like to look at the food truck ordinance to allow food trucks down in downtown Buckner. Not that we would have them every single week, but that it would be tied to some type of event or purpose that we had going on, just so that it brings a bigger crowd. We've maxed out what we can grow right now with what we have, and only to continue to grow, we need to have some bigger incentives for people, like a food truck. We know that food trucks have their own following, so that helps that they bring that following with them. It's not to hurt any other business or brick and mortar. For example, when we do the third Thursdays, all of those are vendors, which are truly direct competition with what I do in my business, but I get them to come because that only brings other people around to see, oh, Tammy Sue's is down here, or I might want to come in there. It can also bring potential business opportunities that somebody might want to buy or purchase or rent one of the buildings down here to bring in a business. We're just really struggling with how to increase the foot traffic as business owners down here. What are other ways that we can work together to do that? Most of us weren't aware of the food truck ordinance, which maybe is our fault that we didn't go in and read, but just how does that information get out? So we're not doing this with a negative connotation, we're trying to do it to grow all the businesses down here. And we're also looking at it that maybe we need to be specific in that ordinance as to private and public use. For example, the chandelier room, a lot of people that would rent the chandelier room might want to have a food truck for their food. So right now, they wouldn't be able to do that. So what are the possibilities with that? We talked to several areas. We talked to Blue Springs, Oak Grove, and Grand Valley. And Blue Springs stated that food trucks have been the cornerstone to their downtown festivals. It keeps people staying at the festival and spending money rather than going off-site to find food. They also said that the restaurants have not complained about the food trucks. Odessa has food trucks opportunities 7 days per week, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. And then if it's outside those hours, they have to have written approval. They have a whole ordinance that we have that you're welcome to look at that I can share with you. And then Grand Valley was very helpful in that they say that they do food trucks mainly through May to August, because that's their big time to do different themed activities, and that's what they tie their food trucks to, are themed activities that the businesses can get involved in. They did tell me that, there are some businesses that weren't really thrilled about it, but they have noticed that none of them have lost business because of it, that they have business on the nights of the food truck, and that they've only increased business down the road because other people became more aware of their businesses. What am I missing?
I think the different food trucks too, like pizza or tacos, something we don't have down here could help.
Yes.
Diversity and give demand to the community for other food options. It would be beneficial for our community.
So, if you're wanting to buy a storefront to put in a business and food trucks are in here, is that gonna deter you from buying it?
No, because it's not here all the time. It's just associated with a themed event. It's not,
Okay, so what are you asking for as far as themed event?
well, like we did Third Thursday, so each month had a different theme.
But what's-
So I think that there needs to be some process that we go through. There's some protocol that we have to fill something out, just like when you rent this room, that we have to fill something out to be able to have that, instead of it just saying that food trucks aren't allowed. Our intent is not to have a food truck down here every single week or every single day. I can't give you an actual number. I would say if we did it twice a month, that would be huge on us, because we all have our own businesses to run as well. But then again, in the summertime, there may be more opportunities for that, like 4th of July. Maybe we had a couple big events planned, and then 4th of July hits and there's another opportunity. Or if food trucks for the chandelier room are included in that, the people that, the weddings or the birthday parties or whatever, if they have a food truck, those are private events that's not open to the public, but that's still a food truck that's down here multiple times. There could be other businesses that aren't in the chamber or aren't downtown that are wanting to do things. There's plenty of opportunities that I don't feel comfortable saying a specific number, but I also feel there needs to be some type of protocol in place of how we are allowed to have that, or what we need to fill out to get that done.
That's actually in the ordinance now. It's under section 245, 130, under special events and festivals. It does have a limitation of 4 special events per year.
Is that private and public, sir?
It said how many per year?
4.
4.
I think, my name is Philip Snodgrass, sorry. I think to answer your question, which was, would it deter somebody from buying a brick and mortar building down here? I think maybe what you're asking is, we see a lot of food trucks. Like, for example, there's a taco truck that sets in Blue Springs in front of Buckeyes every day. It's that if you follow that food truck, it's going to be sitting there every day. 3 Little Pigs barbecue sits on Nolan Road in front of Nuts and Bolts every day. If that's what we were asking for, I would agree with you.
That's what we're trying to keep from happening.
Right.
We just don't wanna, I don't wanna open up Pandora's box.
100%, I agree with you. That is not what anybody's looking for.
I get it, but I'm just trying to figure out how you're gonna
100%.
language this so it doesn't open up.
I think there's some language in like Odessa's stipulations there that would help with that. But the opposite side of that, as somebody who doesn't own a business in this town but in another town, is if you have businesses that want to come in, like for example, the chandelier room. Had the chandelier room known that they would have to tell a bride someday that they can't have a food truck of their choice come to their wedding, that probably would have deterred them from purchasing the chandelier room. So you're kind of on both sides of that coin. Is if we were asking for a food truck to be parked out here every day, I agree, probably shouldn't do that. But to say that businesses can't promote having events more than 4 times a year, I mean, that's very expensive.
Yeah, I'm not disputing that part.
Yeah.
And then is there a way we could say, okay, that you can't bring in a food truck that sells the same thing as our brick and mortar businesses?
I think a problem in the verbiage is we're grouping private and public together as well. So if it's private for wedding events, birthday events, whatever the case may be, it's not going to take away from any other business because no one else is going to have access to it. It's purchased specifically for that event and the attendees of that event.
Understand where
It's
you're
like a
coming
caterer
from.
except it's outside instead of inside.
So does that not apply to the 4 that's written in the current verbiage?
So no one else will come up and want to buy something from it when it's sitting out there?
We have a back drive that they
That
also
was my
park.
question.
I
Can
got
you
it.
use the
back
back
door.
end entrance? Because right now, I mean, sadly, we're not quite as thriving downtown. as
To me,
we have
that's
been.
more of a catering type of thing versus just having a food truck issue, to me, but, I mean, on that issue.
So
That what you guys are wanting to do. And I wouldn't, for what you guys are wanting, I don't have a problem with that. And whatever you want to bring in to feed your people. You understand what I mean?
So another example, at the bank, we like to do customer appreciation, community appreciation. You know, we did one a few years ago at the park because we couldn't get it set up here. But we have done events in the past and at other locations where we had the shred truck come. We invited a donut and coffee food truck at the other locations I worked at before. We tried to look at this time and we're told no food trucks.
Well, at the bank, that's not in the
Should be within.
Yeah, it is.
200, that's,
No,
it's in,
it's basically from Washington to 24 Highway from Sibley to,
Central.
I thought we had 200 foot.
no, it's the whole quota.
In past times, before I was the manager here, there was this community event being set up with several businesses. From what I'm told, banners, everything was ordered, and then like a week or so before the event, no, you can't have this. And my understanding is they were already verbally told that they could.
Who
So-
told you that you couldn't have it? Because if it was on a special event, that's already in the language, you can get that done.
Well, I can't answer to that because, like
That
I
was
said,
all-
I was not a manager then.
Yeah.
The manager at that time went to our marketing department and was telling them that. So marketing referred it to me. So at this point, I can't say it,
Yeah,
the
that-
message got translated correctly all the way through. But at the same time, we need, like, if you do say 4 events, what if I do one a quarter at the bank? Does that mean nobody else can utilize that? I mean,
I don't think that was for the whole, I don't think that language was for, I think that was for.
There was a map that
Yeah.
pretty much covered most of the city. Yeah,
The language says for each food truck vendor,
right,
is what, so that vendor can't come more than 4 times a year.
Mm.
So you'd have to pick a different.
yeah, that makes it even harder. if you have a, you know, every event we always bring street tacos or whatever it is. I'm gonna say what I think about this and turn this thing upside down, because I believe that the board at the time, and I was one of those people, and I'll take the blame, I think we went way too far with this ordinance. The number of businesses that came to us and had a problem with this with food trucks was exactly one. Nobody else, no other business came. The number of businesses that still exist that have a problem with this is now 0. I think we catered too far. I think we made a big mistake, and frankly, I'd like to just revoke the whole ordinance.
Well, at the time that was put in, that one business had 54 employees. And
I understand.
and those were all people that more than half, or 75% lived right here in Butler. They were employing, and you couldn't just
But I think we went too
say
far.
no to that. I
I
mean,
think we
because that
went
was
too far,
huge.
though.
I agree.
I'm not saying we
I think
didn't.
we dropped the hammer and basically made it no.
Yeah,
food
we
trucks
pretty
possible.
much put up a fence
We
around the
made
city.
so many stipulations that we just.
So,
And our ask is not to hurt any other brick and mortar. That is not our intent. Our intent is to make Buckner grow. There is so much potential here, which obviously you guys see, or you wouldn't serve as aldermen. But I feel like for the 3 years that I've been here, I've been very community oriented, try to do the best for all, not just Tammy Sue's, but for all. And I've hit a point where I can't grow anymore without some additional incentives for me. And if I can't grow, I still don't pay myself. I'm gonna have to close my doors at some time, and I think you'll lose business too. The only way we're gonna be able to attract and sustain business, it's not just food trucks, but food trucks are a part of that. When the people would come to Third Thursdays, they'd be disappointed that it was just a treat truck. They wanted to have dinner as well. And you're seeing Blue Springs, Green Valley do it. I'm not saying we need one down here every day. None of us are saying that, or that we want to run somebody out of business, because we don't want to do that. We want to bring them more business. And case in point, Toscano's was a huge pillar of this community and did a lot of great things. And people would drive long distance to come there. People are not going to make that same drive for a smash burger.
no, but I was just referring to
So how
why
can
it was
we,
put in.
right, and I get that.
It's
So we can
totally
help
different.
that business grow too by bringing more foot traffic down here. It's not ill will against anybody, it's just, what are some ways that, and that there are protocols and we follow the rules. We're rule followers, we want to do what's right. And we don't want to harm any other business. But we want some opportunities to be supported instead of feeling like we have nothing but roadblocks.
Don't take me wrong here, I'm not being negative. not
No,
trying to
I
be negative.
understand. I'm just
trying-
clarifying.
Yeah, all I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to meet in the middle, is what I'm really trying to
Absolutely.
do. And I don't know that I have that answer, you know, but I don't want to open up Pandora's box. It's not just for him, it's for our Mexican restaurant over here
It
too.
should be for everybody.
Yeah,
It should
it's
be
for any
everybody.
brick and mortar business that we have. And it's a small town, so it doesn't take much to take business from them. You
I'm
know,
well aware.
Grand Valley,
I'm well
Blue
aware.
Springs, they got enough people, they can open up, 20 more and still probably be okay. But this is different down here.
It is, but we have potential to bring even more down here.
And-
How many places do we have sitting empty? And how do we entice people to come do that? If there's all these roadblocks, they're not gonna wanna come. Like Philip just pointed out, Chandelier Room might not have done it had they been aware of that. And
That's a
so,
good point.
there has to be some things there that we're supporting all small businesses. And like I pointed out too, every vendor out there that I bring is direct competition with me. And I sought them out, I brought them. I'm also a previous business teacher, I believe in competition and commerce. And so that just fuels it.
I thought of that too, yeah.
And I'm not saying that I want to hurt anybody, but if I've been, and I know I've been blamed for this food truck thing. If I hurt anybody with Third Thursdays, I hurt myself. And I didn't feel hurt at all because it brought foot traffic. That's my point. I'm not in this to harm anybody.
Well, not everything was said that a lot of people don't. You gotta know what the history behind why we
I
put
know.
the language.
I know.
Just a second, please. Generally, the third Thursdays is like from 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock.
Mhm.
So this would be, so if we put something there, time limiting it between 5 and 10, or is that?
Well, but then you have the summer, then it could be good to have something during the day, you know?
Okay, I was just thinking, because right now, obviously, it'd be real easy, because sadly, there's lots of empty storefronts. But if you look back a couple years, all those were occupied, and those food trucks would be blocking access to those other buildings. That's what I was thinking when they talked about having that back entrance, it's like, well, if that, you're essentially using it to cater your space, if we could put it on the backside.
Or part of the parking lot over there, I mean, that whole
Yeah.
parking lot's not utilized, we could keep it to so many spots in that parking lot. I mean, I think there's ways to work around it, for sure.
I
Well,
just didn't know if there'd be an easy, like, okay, from 5, because the body shop obviously is closing up at 5 or 6.
Right, no, I think in the summer, there's some more opportunities, and I know it's been brought up too at the chamber that, with the churches, they were wanting to do like Friday night flicks where they can show a movie. It would be great to have some type of food along with that movie, you know, so there are some other opportunities besides just,
Downtown.
So the food truck issue that was brought up, okay, it was brought up, it probably wouldn't even been brought up if it hadn't been threatened.
right,
That it was a threat that they were, and he was getting ready to open up seafood.
seafood.
And he was threatened by a food truck that he was gonna park it right down here and take his business. And so that's why he even came over here and brought it up to start with.
I get it.
Otherwise, it never even would have even came, it wouldn't even be on the books.
But I think it goes back to what you stated, is that that was taken to such an extreme and not considered of the potential downfall it has too, because it does hurt other businesses. And their business is directly one of those. And I know you can say, well, that's private versus public, but how is it worded and how is that different? And to go back to, what do we have as draws to pull people?
Right, are we shooting ourselves in the foot with the current ordinance?
Correct.
You know, if you have foot traffic down here, people see empty buildings, say, well, maybe I'll take my food truck and turn it into a business.
So you don't
Or
believe there
other
is,
people are down here and think, oh, there's an opportunity for me to open a business
Right.
here.
So the-
You're bringing people around.
you don't believe there is a Pandora's box?
I think you have some safeguards in place to
You
prevent
can-
that.
you can-
That's
I
why
can-
I said I want protocols.
And I could probably go and do my own research at these cities and find just as many negatives as you found positives too.
Well,
So my thing is, I understand where you're at, and I'm not gonna say no to this. I just don't, I would like to meet in the middle.
I agree, 100%, I agree.
But
I agree.
just to fix this, all we need to do is get rid of the Hudson Street district.
Well,
Yeah, 245.
I mean, other than, obviously, they've been able to work through it, but it's not supposed to be on public property either, says the ordinance.
right,
Which obviously
we're
they.
concerned that somebody would park outside
Yeah,
somebody's
which
driveway and so.
we have to either fix that or their special permit covers that.
We have to make sure though that they can't park in the parking spaces with their food trucks. in the
Yeah, well,
parking
but if they get a
spaces.
special permit, I think they can. They can block off.
But the whole permit thing, to me, is we're making somebody take an extra unnecessary step. If we just say, you can have your food truck here or there or whatever, just not, right here on Hudson in front of these businesses.
But that also ensures we get our $100. I mean, that's part of the permit process, is that we get our $100 fee for the food truck.
Yeah, because, well, that's true because we're not getting any.
And then that's our, and obviously, we can't get rid of the whole ordinance.
Right.
Because it's also all the rules they gotta follow on, having a Jackson County.
But as far as hurting like the brick and mortar businesses are here, if they're just steakouts across the street and I come home from work and say, I want a steak. All right, I'm gonna go have a steak, and if I'm driving down here and I see a street taco thing, it's not gonna defer me from wanting that steak that I wanted, and so, I think that street taco. No,
Well,
I'll go get a
and
steak.
here's something to consider too, like when I did Third Thursdays, it was really hard to get people to come here because they want a guaranteed amount of people to come. And I can't give that to them at this point because we just do not have foot traffic. So I never charged them. Because I can't give them a number. And I know that's a business risk that you take, but most food trucks either charge you a minimum fee or are guaranteed a minimum. And I don't think to start up, we're there.
And Tammy, I like to vouch for that since
since Park Board does the fireworks in the park, I had a hard time in the beginning getting food trucks to come down there because they wanted us to pay them just to come down, $300, $400, $500,
Yeah.
a guarantee, right?
That goes
So
back
if
to
you do
her,
put a
they
fee
think,
on
"Oh,
them,
they're so far out here."
they're gonna say no, unless you can prove, like we've proved now that during fireworks, they're gonna get the business. But unless you can prove that to them, they're gonna wanna charge for it, so.
Yeah. Well, and back to what I was saying a minute ago about whether I wanted a steak or a street taco. Great, if you can afford a steak, then go eat steak. But what about people that can't afford a steak? They need another option.
Well, and I
They
think
can't
that's
afford a
where,
restaurant.
I mean, there's plenty of sites to find where the up-and-coming trucks that have big followings, because that's a big thing for us, is they're bringing their following to us too, which is people that we did not have down here. I mean, there may be some overlap, but that's a positive for us of bringing foot traffic, is that we choose some trucks, like Fish and Hook, or what, is that what it's called, Fish and Hook? Off the Hook, has a huge following.
Yeah, big one.
And if they would agree to come, think of all these people that have not been to Buckner before that would be coming to that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's where we're heading with this, is how do we attract some people that we're not getting?
Yeah, whether they stop and buy gas or get a Coke at Casey's or
But
whatever.
they've been exposed and they see it and they know they can come back, and now they know there's a chandelier room, a Hudson room, a Bad to the Bones, a Tammy Sue's,
Right.
they see what's available as well as all the businesses.
And it's free advertising almost.
Yeah, 'cause
If there turns out to be a negative to this.
there's always
I'm
negatives, yes.
just saying,
No, yeah.
if it turns out to be a negative to this for the businesses that are here, including the Mexican restaurant, they see a downfall, so then what are you gonna do? Just say, well, that's just the way it is? Or we,
Well, no,
or
they
we
have the
do
right to
something.
come down here and petition just like we did. So,
Well, I mean, as a business, you take
Okay,
a risk
that's
with
my-
with
that's my-
everything. Like, I can't control if another business like mine went in across the street. In fact, I want one to, because then we become a destination place.
But you're apples to oranges here, because they're not brick and mortar, and they don't have the stake in the town that.
But they're
that the
not
other-
here every day.
I'm just saying, that's the only problem I have with it. Somebody that doesn't have any
The
stake
other
in
food
the town.
establishments down here, are they for this or against it?
I think that's
Darren
where,
and Cheryl are for it.
I think that's where you're at right now is.
Absolutely, I'm playing the advocate for the ones that aren't for it too.
Right.
Well,
I mean, they're not here.
Where are they?
I think in the past you've had one person against it, and now you have 1, 2, 3, 4 people for it,
More than that.
or more.
I
And they show-
get it, but out of that group, how many sell food?
Darren and Cheryl, so that's it. We're gonna have someone
That's my
sell
point.
it too.
That's my point, okay? I'm not trying to argue this point, I'm just trying
Everyone
to.
that sells food knows about this meeting tonight, and there was no one that came here to speak against it.
yeah, that's my point, is if they, just as we had the very first meeting when this whole thing started, if someone thinks that this is detrimental to their business, they have every right to come down here and speak their mind, just like you are. So I don't see anybody here complaining.
Well, and I'm not speaking this as a direct only benefit for me. I'm looking at it as a growth for Buckner.
Yeah, I get that wholeheartedly.
I mean, I'm not looking at this as, this is the only sword that Tammy Sue can carry to get anywhere. I'm just trying to find ways to make Buckner stronger and build things. And this was one thing that could be done fairly easy to start moving in that direction. I mean, I think we should make a task force, and I don't think it has to be Aldermen. I think we pair together where we go to the different cities to find out how can we attract and sustain businesses, not just attract, because Odessa did a great job attracting, but they're not sustaining, they're leaving. So I think we're at that point, we're in that economy, we've got to do something. I know I can't continue to keep my doors open if there isn't some growth.
But I think, just for everyone, because we talked about this till midnight, is getting, I think, looking at 245-080 that deals with the downtown district.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to rescind any wording related to Hudson Street District.
And so we could have an attorney look at that, so we wouldn't vote on that tonight, we just.
And should we also change the amount of times
Well, yeah, that's what would be a discussion
Either
later, is
take that out or-
one vendor gonna be here?
Yeah.
How often is one vendor gonna
So
be
we're
here?
just, we're just taking all the language out and opening it back up.
And I think you also need to look at the
That's
difference
what's really
between
the-
private and public too, because that directly affects them. If there's an ordinance in there and you're saying, well, that's different, that's catering, when you start, you know, maybe have some different wording for a private event versus a public event. Like, at one of my birthdays, I was paying for a coffee treat truck that none of my customers would pay for. It was gonna be in front of my building to give to them, and I was strongly opposed to do that.
So, yeah, but you're saying event, but you're wanting to change the language towards no event, meaning you can just have a food truck.
We're not asking you to take out any language.
Uh-uh.
That's up to you guys.
No, but just to operationalize it, we're gonna have to, and I think.
Well,
But
in
what
order
we're
to
promoting
get,
is,
in order
when
to
we
get.
would want a food truck would be associated with some type of event is what we're promoting. We're not just
Say that-
asking,
say that one.
whenever we would want to have a food truck, it would be tied to some other event. We're not asking just to have a food truck on a day. We're asking that we could have a food truck with an event. But right now, it says only 4 times. We need more than 4 times.
I know,
4
but
times
but
per
we're
vendor,
having,
though.
Well,
No, it's 4 times per vendor.
Per vendor. I mean, how many times we have more than the same vendor come more than 4 times?
probably not.
Well,
Yeah.
we now have a wedding venue, so it just depends. There's certain food trucks, and I'm not trying to cause problems, and I know you want to end it, so I'll just say my piece, but there's a high demand for this right now. We can't live like it was 10 years ago, because this is the upcoming thing right now for weddings, birthdays. This is what people are doing. These people, if they rent our venue, and tons of friends being married myself, people will drive an hour to 2 hours for the perfect venue and what they have to offer. And then when you go and drive, guess what? You see what the city has to offer. You see other things close by, and then you tell your friends, you tell other people around you, so you're not losing business just because of an hour or whatnot. So I don't think we should limit to 4, because I can't tell a bride, oh, that was booked 2 other times, or you can't book that because I have a bride booking that next month. Like, that's going to be very conflict. And I'm not,
So, just in your situation, are you saying that the wedding party's gonna go outside, buy food from the vendor truck, and come back in?
yeah, it's actually
Okay.
been a
You wouldn't
up
bring
thing
food
here
in?
Kansas. Yeah, correct, and it's been a very popular thing, I would say, for the last couple of years,
Are there-
especially in Kansas City and
Sorry.
Summit.
Are there vendors, food truck vendors that like specialize in just weddings?
There's smaller smaller food trucks that go to smaller venues typically, but I don't think anyone.
Okay, because I was thinking if it's,
That.
if like the 4 times a year thing, if you have one food truck that does just weddings, you know, how popular are they? If we do 6 weddings down here, sorry, you dug your 4, you can't do the other 2.
To be completely honest, I don't know of any that just specializes in weddings. But
Everybody has different tastes. you just don't
Yeah.
know. Other things I can answer. Sorry, I stirred pot.
I encourage that.
Who would like the food vendor to come?
Well, it would depend on what committee or who's doing the event.
They're just not gonna be 50
I'm not
to
sure.
show
I'm
up.
not
They
sure.
have to be invited
Right.
by your group or
Right,
whatever.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And they should have to fill out some
That's what Hudson
paperwork,
District
is what I'm saying, there needs to be a process.
Sure, they'll have to have
Right,
proof of
It
insurance.
stops at 20.
right.
Health,
and
the
health,
certificates and
mhm,
all that
absolutely.
stuff.
It
Yeah.
stops at 20.
Which would come through you all, you know, through the city. But there just needs, and we need to know what that protocol is, so that we're doing it
Showing
correctly.
it on the rules.
Yeah, I know all the rules, yeah, I do. Believe it or not, I do.
It'd be just a specific issue. That's 200 feet.
I know. Trouble.
The 200 foot is.
I just-
It doesn't go like, no, it's still there.
No, that's 07, no, it's below.
No. They still go, still.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I'm sorry.
A lot of people have, it's been very simple.
There's no way that we're keeping minutes on it.
Sorry.
So I think we would work with council to propose a change to the ordinance, bring it back to the next meeting. And we can then kind of get into the nuts and bolts, that they understand the rationale and the need for the, at least the need for the consideration to change
Sounds like we need a motion to table it.
So we,
Because I made a motion to make a motion. It doesn't get seconded, so that's
It needs a
fine.
second, so-
So it still needs to be tabled if we're gonna
I
come
make-
back.
Yeah, I make a motion to table it.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next up, elected officials' comments. The only thing, I just said it, and sorry, it's really more a housekeeping item. With that ARPA fund being paid off, or paid out, then we have the water sewer debt service that's needing to be, I just was thinking that if we would redesignate that and then use that as an accrual account to make those payments, because we only have the payments every 6 months, was to put like 15,000 over into that ARPA account, or what was previously known, just to make sure that it's adequately funded. We should have the money, but I know that water lines start popping.
Right.
God, I hope not, but they do, and all of a sudden we're burning cash out of that account, and we need to make sure we got our debt service covered.
So you want to change the up account
To just, water sewer debt service or something, I don't care what you call it.
So an extension of water sewer?
No, there's currently an account, I don't remember what the account is, but it says ARPA.
Yeah,
right.
But that's what it's about.
Right, I mean, we have water sewer fund now.
Right,
Will
but
this
but
be
that
like
covers
same
payroll, and that covers water lines, and
So you want one for the weed business that we just put in?
I want one to, because our payment's what, 70-something thousand?
78,000 every 6 months.
So, so every 6 months, so we need to make sure that we're accruing that.
Let me go to Margie.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me go to Margie. One thing, my only concern with doing that, which I'm saying like give with Margie, is because that was bookkeeping for the office fund, which was federal money. I just want to make sure that now to zero it out, that.
Yeah, and I don't care, I
bookkeeping,
mean,
You know what I'm saying?
better yet, just close it and open a new one.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying.
Because the bank
Because
lady
it
will
pays
change the
interest
title.
on it, yeah.
The bank lady will.
What?
He'll make me change the title of the account.
Yeah, we
You
can
gotta-
change the title.
You gotta essentially close, we gotta get all the
Yeah,
cards and everything.
I think we clean up and just put the new account closed down that way. Like, that's all bookkeeping.
Because there's nothing in that account
If we ever
right
get
now.
audited to the federal government for that opera money, we can clearly show, hey, this is it. This is what was in, this is what was paid out.
And on a related matter is that Jackson County is revisiting the ARPA money that they're setting on. Some of us went down to Jackson County to the courthouse and met with them, I think a year and a half ago now. And Frank was wanting to build his shrine.
Right.
They're revisiting possibly giving us, what was it, $5 or $6 million for water line repairs.
It was 5.5 is what we asked for.
So, Representative Varga or Legislator Varga, whatever his title is, I think he's been in touch with Joe.
Yep.
And so that's back in play, that we might be able to fund those water lines with the ARPA money from the county.
Well, I saw something, you were this week or last week about some of the ARPA money that got dealt out to places that did, there was a scale or a grading scale on whether or not you got money in places that.
I
think it went to some.
Well, like I said,
Got money.
I got contacted by, I actually contacted Manny last week when I found out about the Jackson County doing that exemption. And he assured me that we are still being considered in January. He said the end of January, they were talking about us. And that he's offered to bring Phil Loboda down to Butler to walk and have me walk him through the system. And so I'm getting Manny and me to get that all set up. And I mean, if one of you guys want to be there when he comes down, that'd be great, so I can let everybody know. But, not given, but it sounds like good. They said he was aware of the situation, so.
So there for a while, it felt like we just wasted an afternoon, but maybe let it percolate long enough and we'll get
Well,
something.
Frank's gone now, so that helps.
Other than that, thank you all for your time this evening. Anybody else? Mr. Jones?
Well, whatever just to go back to that language, whatever we do, if we're gonna pay the lawyer to do it, we gotta make sure that it's exactly what we want.
I don't know that you'll know what you want until you see it.
No pressure.
Like, you understand what I mean, though. I mean.
We have that in writing. Or a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what we want.
I'll work with her to see if we get.
I figured you would.
One quick thing, and like I was telling, the guys brought up the brand new salt spreader and plow system set up on the Dodge truck. And we also got the brand new pickup truck that we bought, the 3/4, well, 1/2 ton pickup truck that we bought, sitting out front too. It's got the features on
I don't know if y'all want to sit in the rain and look at it.
You can look out the
Or
window.
if you
We good?
Does it have any kind of badging on it or something that says City of Buckner?
Plate, that's it.
Just plain old.
Just plates on
Hate to waste money, I was wondering if we could get a wrap or something.
Yeah.
But anyhow, it's still nice, it works. That's good.
it. That's the important part.
If nobody else has anything, we'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Stand adjourned. Thanks, Walter.